So the topic for today is a time you got lost. So if you want to see the question and the cues, have a look in the description and it's written in there. The time I'm going to talk about is not very long ago, during the COVID-19 pandemic, when it was at its height and lockdown was in force and people weren't allowed to travel very far. So they were exploring their local area. Now I decided it would be a great idea to try and walk from one part of South Manchester to another. But what I didn't take into account was the fact that Manchester is renowned for its rainy weather, and part of the route that I was going to take took me along the riverbank, which is always really boggy and swampy and muddy. And on this particular day I wasn't wearing appropriate footwear, so I set off, but sure enough, fairly soon I was covered in mud. It was really dirty. It was not a particularly easy walk. The ground beneath my feet was really kind of bumpy and clogged with mud and rocks and that kind of thing. And to add to this, I didn't really know where I was going. I just had Google Maps on my phone and was attempting to navigate using that. And I was by myself, so there was no one I could ask when I eventually realised that I was lost. I didn't see any passers-by, so I couldn't ask them either, and there weren't any signs that made it obvious where I was or which way I needed to go. But I continued on. I was feeling tired by this point and hungry and quite irritated, and it's quite unsettling as well, being in unfamiliar territory and not knowing which way I should go. But eventually I saw some familiar Mancunian landmarks in the distance, and I realised that if I retraced my steps, I should be able to return to the main road and find my way safely home that way. So I did this and kept an eye on some of the buildings that I recognised in the distance, and sure enough I eventually returned to the main road, to the high street, and was able to get home without any further problems from there.